And hoping the things to come here on Friday night and Saturday night combination.
How was your week? Did you have an exciting week?
Yeah, I got to spend a couple of days in Sedona.
Nice, cool country.
Good time for the summer to get out of here for at least a couple of days, even though it was semi-business nature. I guess we don't like to select the IRS.
I was out on the asphalt this week, as you know. I have a little paving company. And a funny thing happened to me. I was up at a...
What's the name of your paving company?
R.E. Miller. No. Pave Park. And I was up at a restaurant. I got probably the only person in Tucson got rained out yesterday up northwest. And I stopped into a restaurant, got myself a Coke, and there was a big paving project going on next door. And one of the fellows happened to be walking by me and see my hat with Pavecor on it. And he says, "Oh, you work for Pavecor, huh?" I said, "Yeah, I sure do." He says, "You know Jack Jacobs?" I said, "The heck of a guy." I was in my paving outfit, you know, you're all dirty and everything. I said, "You can't beat this guy." And he said, "Oh, really?" The announcer, one of the announcers out at Raven Raceway. And then I was kidding with him, and I told him it was me. But I thought that was pretty ironic. Also, my car broke down this week, and guess who I called?
Gary's Towing.
That's right. Gary picked it up, took it over to Colin Germain, who has that car number 7.
There.
Take me back to Paradise. I'd like to go there the first time.
Well, I don't know how to break this to you, Jack. This is Paradise.
This is Paradise.
I've been in Paradise since back in April. Back here in Illinois. Amazing how quickly they go by.
It sure is. You know, you see that Gatorade sign out there in town? Well, Gatorade is Circle of Champions. The official thirst quencher of NASCAR is proud to be a part of the race program here at Raven Raceway. This is for tomorrow night. This is Gatorade's 3rd year to be involved in 8 racing divisions of NASCAR. And there will be 50 special Gatorade nights at NASCAR-sanctioned Winston Racing Series tracks in 27 states. And the Gatorade Circle of Champion is a $300,000 program that recognizes champion in the Winston Cup Series. Winston's West, Busch Grand National, Busch Grand National North, Winston Modified Tour, Charlotte, Daytona Dash, and the All-American Challenge, and the Winston Race.
In the blue tube, trying to make a go of it. Tell you that Camaro's a very patriotic sucker. It's a pretty car.
Yes, it is.
Got nice wheels on it.
Now, if the track would have been this wet that night I raced.
We go ahead and pull the bio on these guys.
Okay.
And just kind of play with it.
What I was going to say, if the track would have been this wet the night I raced, I'd have a good excuse, right?
And yet, look at the dust kicking up here in the Homester. I have a feeling, Jack, it's going to be a full moon night. I can't see it. We'll have to step out here momentarily and see how full that sucker is. That'll give us an indication of things to come. David Henken there in the 69 machine. Colin Germain, as we pointed out a little bit earlier, there in the 7 car. The double 7 is that of Lucky Larry Davis, who on occasion rents it out. Saw number 25 in tow out here tonight. That's been happening more and more in the past couple of weeks. Pierre. He likes just to be called Pierre.
Just Pierre.
He doesn't like us to. Bob Pennington.
Look out, Bob.
Doing a nice loop into the infield. George Kemp walking on the inside of the backstretch over there now. George, I got a feeling you're going to have your hands full tonight, sir. This is going to be a fun one. I can guarantee you that. 71. Machine of Ed Fine going high up there in turn 1 right now. Playing and Dodgem car out here at some locations. Hey, there's your friend from Sierra Vista.
Oh, yeah.
79, Ray Wilson.
Almost like the mud bogs out there.
This is just incredible. We used to do this around Christmas time, up around the Ohio-Michigan border, in Kroger grocery store parking lots that had a fine sheet of snow and or ice.
Oh, yes, I remember those days.
Those were some of the highlights of high school days back in the late 50s, early 60s. My God, is he that old already? Yeah.
Now, did you live close to Michigan back there?
Yep.
Oh, is that right?
90 miles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Only Toledo.
Only Toledo.
Which may be a fitting description here this evening, especially here in the early on. Wow. All over this facility, they are having their troubles keeping it in the groove, as it were. 2 of them down up at turn 4.
So we're just about ready to go. Tom Troy Brown is from the Super Modifieds, and Troy's going to be assistant flagman tonight up there with George Camp, our premier flagman here at Raven Raceway. We've got our first heat race for the Chargers coming up, an 8-lap event. And who do we have on the pole position?
Pretty doggone good shape early on, don't they?
Yes, they sure do. Got that pretty in pink car, or that lavender number 30, Watson's car on the pole position, leading them around fairly slow.
Watson and Langston responsible respectively for setting the pace here. Actually, it's Watson's responsibility, Langston to bear with him. Then behind them, Vanhorn, Thomas, and Gibson, Bennett, Pierre, and Wilson, and Jesse Brown at the rear of the pack. Let's see if we get the early nod from flagman starter George Camp, and by golly, we do. We've got green. We're off and running on a Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. And thanks for coming out and being here with us this evening as John Watson takes it off of the pole and into the lead up into turn 1. And a lot of thick traffic up there so far, coming out of it unscathed. Boy, it looked kind of hairy there for a moment, Jack.
It sure did, and they held it right in there. Nobody slid up into the mud.
And look at Watson jump out on Bob Langston and John Vanhorn. Your top 3 in the very early on of this 8-lap first heat race this evening for these NASCAR Chargers. Watson with that much lead right now.
Ray Wilson pulling it into the infield. Looks like he died out, but he may be trying to get back out on the racetrack. I'm not sure at this time.
With that much of a lead on Bob Langston, now opening it up to about a quarter of a lap, as a matter of fact. And let's see if Wilson is able to get back out and involved in the fray here. Hopefully for him, having made that trip up from SV, he will be able to do so. John Watson now trying to open it up on this guy, Bob Langston. And John Vanhorn running along pretty tight behind Langston, currently in 3rd place. John Thomas and Terri Bennett round out the top 5 here in the early on of our first Charger heat race this evening.
Jesse Brown bringing it in the mud and out of the mud as he heads into turn number 1. I'm surprised they can handle that thing in that mud.
I'll tell you, particularly in the early on here, you don't want to go,
Oh, look out there, John.
What a high ride by JT up in turn 3, but you know, he came out of that totally unscathed, Jack.
He sure did.
You can see the wear and tear on that front right fender
totally new car out here at Raven.
Boy, Watson doesn't seem to be having any problem with it whatsoever. And he's riding it high. He's staying right in the center of that high groove. And as you can see there in turn 4, not exactly able to keep it on a straight line just yet. And there's what would scare me to death. That little situation that Vanhorn gave us coming out of turn 4, where if it starts getting a little sloppy to the right side on you, then suddenly you're going to be in the guardrail.
Lap number 5 coming up in this 8-lap event.
Watson making it look easy in that number 30 car. He is sponsored by Brandon Brothers Texaco, Performance Engine and Machine, Drake & Son Auto Communications System as well. Proud sponsors of that number 30 car. Opening it up by that margin on Bob Langston in number 45, John Vanhorn in number 1.
Oh, look out, Pierre.
Yep, Pierre got himself some company up there in turn 4. And also, oh boy, look at that. It is just as treacherous as can be, and oh my goodness.
That was close.
Oh, sure. And you see what he was trying to stay out of, that soup that he's in right now. So that's why he cut it as close as he did. But my gosh, that was close. If Pierre hadn't moved forward a couple of inches, he would have had a racing stripe down the side of that he didn't start out the evening with.
They were splitting hairs right there at turn number 4. 25, Pierre is going to wind up in the back after we get this one restarted.
5 laps gone, 3 to go. It'll be kind of a dash here now, Jack.
Yeah, that'll close him up a little bit, give Bob Langston a better chance of catching Watson. But Watson's looking really good out there tonight. He really opened up right there toward the end, had almost a half a track lead.
George Camp waves the yellow flag and gives him the finger, indicating one more lap at this pace, and then we'll, if everything's copacetic, crank you up, have you dash it off. Uh-oh, somebody's getting one. Oh, that's his message to Pierre in number 25 to
back of the pack, Jack.
Drop back to the rear of the pack. That for his little spin out up here. 2 of them, and it's bye-bye altogether.
Well, Watson leads him around one more time. What do you think, Tom?
I think we're going to have green here because George Camp realizes we're a little bit late in starting it up, so let's crank it up and get her out of here. John Watson on the lead here at the restart with 3 laps to go now. Of course, he had opened it up considerably, so let's see if he's able to do so again with Bob Langston. John Vanhorn had been running 3rd, is still. But Langston's in better shape now as a result of this restart. Still hanging on to that betterness of position, not position, but the distance factor. Not quite what it was a little while back. And now if Watson can keep that machine out of trouble, keep his nose clean, as they like to say, well, he should be a shoe-in here in the first heat race of the evening. John Watson in the number 30 car. Bob Langston, Elmo's Saloon on Country Club, sponsors of that number 45 machine of Langston. So most folks would like to see him close it up, but as you can see with the white flag flying, 1 lap to go. Time is rapidly expiring in this one, Jack.
Not this lap, but the previous lap. Terri Bennett kissed the wall coming out of number 4, but he got it right back in there. I'll tell you, it's awful wet out there still. Look out there, Pierre.
Pierre is still doing a little dancing around, and that's a dangerous spot up there to be slipping and sliding too with that pit entrance barricade sitting there. But here comes John Watson. Unperturbed almost from the start in this one. In fact, from the pole position in this one. Watson goes on a cruise.
Oh, Terri Bennett kissed the wall once again. And oh, look out there in turn number 4, Tom. Oh, my goodness. And Terri pulls out of it, hits Pierre, goes into the wall right now. Oh, no, just missed it. Ooh. When you think it's over,
it ain't over.
It ain't over.
Till it's over. We've seen some strange happenings after races have officially come to conclusions out here. On one open wheel night, we saw a catapulter decided to leave early at the end of the race. He had actually finished third in the race. Decided he was going to get out of here early instead of taking the extra lap. Boy, did it cost Patrick Salomon dearly that evening.
So John Watson wins that one. Bob Langston winds up in second place. Vanhorn in car number 1 in third. John Thomas in fourth place. And Pierre snuck inside of Terry Bennett in that car number 25 in fifth place. So there you have it, your first heat race for the NASCAR Chargers.
Turned out to be a gorgeous evening for this after all. Kept hoping all day that would be the case and wondering if we could stay lucky. I can't imagine him getting it that early, and they're not. He now decides to opt to the yellow.
Well, looks like we're missing a car out there.
Waving that digit at them, indicating let's do one more.
Darrell Fisher, car number 3. And perhaps he's scratched. I don't know if George put the yellow out for that reason or not, but he did give him one more time. So let's see if Darrell can make it out here for this heat race. So that moves Ed Fine up in that 71 car, Tom, to the pole position. He is scratched.
A scratch job on who?
Well, she pulled the card. It was Darrell.
What do we care?
Yeah, 222. Car number 222.
222.
Like room 222.
Barry Foster.
What does that mean, George? George, a good Catholic, makes the sign of the cross.
George, you say, come on, guys. I've got the green flag in my hand. You can see it. Now let's go racing. And here we go. Let's see what happens as they crank it up, coming off of that turn 4 and powering right off the bat into the lane 49 machine from the outside pole. John Banks getting an early jump on Ed Fine in 71 and making it hold up. Gordon Sam's running along in third place right now. He's got some pretty strong looking company right behind him. In fact, the whole rest of the pack looks to be in potential position to come on and get involved in this one, and that's a good sign. But for John Banks right now, well, he's got the lead position standing on N5 and Gordon Sams and Colin Germain, your top 4 runners in this, your second Charger heat race of the evening. Sam's taking it a little higher than what I think he had anticipated up there between turns 1 and 2. So he had to back off of it, and as he did, Colin Germain got a bit of a jump on him, going low up in turn 2, and now Sam's has got him a big problem up there coming out of turn 3, scrapes the wall, a couple of pretty good bangs, Jack. So he will be wearing some signs on it as he comes by in that 23 machine. Not too much worse for wear.
We've got a new leader, Ed Fine, passed John Banks in that 49 car in that last lap. So let's see if John can creep his way back up and throw out the line and reel him back in.
Fine's been a fine racer in past weeks out here. One of those guys making really nice progress, as I think we have so noted. Colin Germain coming up pretty close in the rear of John Banks there, considering how slick things are coming out of turn 4. That was awfully close proximity. Likewise, Henken taking aim on Gordon Sams there. Banks high coming out of turn 2, trying to close it up on, looks like Germain now in second place behind Ed Fine. Fine brings him around out of turn 4 down the home stretch now. Yeah, that's how it is. Ed Fine, Colin Germain just about 2 lengths behind him. And now John Banks, your earlier leader in this one, is showing some signs of wear and tear and losing some ground too. Those 2 lead cars with time running out on this one.
Lap number 5 coming up as Ed Fine leads him around way wide, and Colin Germain jumps in on the inside.
So we're into the second half on this one. And Germain not quite able to get the job done. He gave it a good, valiant effort up there in turn 4. Things just wouldn't fly for him. Still pretty breezy here, Jack. Look at that green flag in Cam's hand. Having at it tonight.
I don't expect it to get any calmer either, Tom.
Which would blow directly in our air conditioner and get that sucker working. Ozick heads down to the pits. And Fine battling with Colin Germain here. John Banks still playing catch till one more to go. So we're grinding our
look
way
at
down,
this.
and that was just about bound to happen. Now let's see. Ed Fine definitely comes out of the little scrape up there with Colin Germain, the winner. And now Colin having some trouble getting it restarted because he's up there in that loose stuff. Doesn't dare back up, or he's going to get zonkered by one of these guys who'll paint a target on the side up real quick. So the white continues to fly. The checkered flag coming out for Ed Fine in that 71 machine. Looks like he's going to stave off John Banks, who will wind up taking second place in this, our second Charger heat race of the evening.
Gordon Sam's headed into the pits at the white flag, and Ed Fine wins this one. Colin Germain tried to move on the inside and overtake him on that white flag lap, but just overdrove it a little bit, and Ed Fine wound up zapping it. So Ed Fine, your winner on this one. John Banks came up back into second place in that car number 45. David Henken in third. Colin Germain wound up in fourth place. Larry Artman in fifth.
So a good show put on by these guys despite less than normal conditions, at least with Paul Banghart. Green flag comes up to starter George Camp's hand. He picks him up midway down the backstretch. He'll follow him around. This is an unusually slow pace, or is it just my imagination?
No, it looks unusually slow, Tom, for these late model guys, but the track is wet. Let's see what Ickes is going to do right now.
Well, they've got the green flag, and whatever it is they're going to do, ought to start doing right about here. And the flag puts the early heat on Jack Ickes, giving that Phoenician driver a little bit of a problem in taking the lead at turn one, coming off the outside wall. Good. That's how they stack up down the back chute and into turn three. Lane Lag in the lead. Jack Ickes trying to close it up. Those two by themselves. Then a little bit of a gap there. Along comes Terri Green, fast closing. And now in fact he has closed on the top two. And then number 14, Red Racing Machine, the O'Reilly Chevrolet car. Right on the heels of Terri Green is Jack Moore in 23T. So that's how they're going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come out of here. Lane Lag. That was the bid on Jack Ickes. Terri Green and Jack Moore. And then out for third place.
Ivan Russell in 17 just went into the pits, Tom, on that first lap.
Oh, it was just for his light refreshment. Malindro there at 48 running all by himself and looking to be lapped about a half lap by this guy right here, number 88. Jack Ickes, Terri Green, Jack Moore. That's how they're running top four right now in this one. And a good show. Jack got a little surprised. We're still under the green in this one. I figured the faster times, the faster, more powerful machines, we might just have a little bit of less get this one flying. Not so far.
I think with this wet track tonight, it's going to be anybody's race out there, Tom.
Jack Moore went squirting by Jack Ickes. Who's that back there smoking out?
Paul Banghart.
Paul Banghart. So let's see if that was a temporary situation or it's going to be growing this day. Lane Lag brings the blue 88 by Terri Green now in number 14. Chasing him and Jack Moore trying to gun sight down Terri Green in the O'Reilly Chevy car. Let's see how they do heading into turn three. Lag turns him around, coming out of four. Terri Green behind him, then Jack Moore.
Lap number 6, Tom, so the white flag will be coming out next time around.
Jack Ickes, who was on the pole, steadily fading in this one, now running along in fourth place. It looks like he may, even with one lap to go, have his hands full and keeping that one secure. The white flag is out for the lane line. One lap to go for P for Green. And all the rest of them as they come by. But there's no catching the lane line in this one. Number 88 has come out and served notice in the early on. Now we're heat racing here this evening that he's come to contend.
Contends he does as he gets the checkered flag from George Camp, winning this one, our first heat race in the NASCAR Winston late models. Terri Green in that car number 14, a fine job of driving coming up from the rear, and Terri winding up in second place. Jack Moore 23T took third. Jack Ickes in that J7 fell back into fourth place. Robert Townsend in 98 in fifth. And looks like Paul Banghart wound up in sixth place. Paul Banghart, Tom, as he was going around toward the end of this race, had a big puff of blue smoke come out of there. I thought he lost his engine there for a minute, but he hung right in there and finished the race in sixth place.
Yeah,
so Dwayne Lang wins it.
Pardon?
The lucky number giveaways.
Number 77 inside row 2.
Tony Izzo in car number 2 will be on the outside of row 2.
Ron Kearns driving tonight, the number 59 machine. He'll be sitting inside the third row.
On the outside of the third row, car number 62 will be Bill Harless.
Inside the last row, the 77R machine down from Eloy tonight, Mike Wilkinson.
And Steve Neff on the outside in that car number 4 as George looks at him.
And the green flies, so we go off racing for the fourth time in our heat races here this evening. And Ron Bishop getting a good early move on this one. He did some good running, as I recollect, from last week.
Look at the moves that Tony Izzo did as Lucky Larry falls out.
There's a nice loop up there near the entrance road from the staging area that comes out from behind the Budweiser sign. Looked like it might get a little hairy there for a while, but then it didn't. And Bishop comes driving her by with Tony Izzo smoking in hot pursuit in that 02 car. Bill Harless is in 62, and Izzo beginning to exude some more smoke between turns 1 and 2, and now losing some ground on the leader Bishop at 98, heading into turn 3.
Look at the charge by Bill Harless. Well, no, not Bill. Somebody just went around Bill. Looks like Steve Neff in that car number 4, making a good charge right now.
Neff put on a good show out here last week as well in that number 4 car right there, so we might just see it again here this evening. He's got a lot of ground right now, though, to close things up when you're 2 up front guys, that being Ron Bishop in 98, Tony Izzo in 02.
Lucky Larry making his way back up toward the front as he passes Bill Harless. They've got a long way to go to catch that guy, Ron Bishop. And uh-oh, there goes a flat tire on Tony Izzo's car.
And reading the signal, Lucky Larry in 77 able to pull it to the inside a little bit more and stay out of Izzo's way as Izzo escapes from the field of competition to get a tire change. Bishop, nobody's going to catch that car.
Doesn't look that way. But it's a wet track, so who knows? It's not over yet.
Could draw a yellow that tightens things up, or he could buy it. He's not real careful. Maybe gets a little cocky. So that much lead, I suppose it's too short of a race to really lose your attention in.
Now, what strategy would you use? Would you just keep pouring it on when you got that much of a lead?
My strategy is always
Pour it on.
as long as you got it, pour it on. Until I end with all my weeds at home. Pour the gasoline on and light that sucker and hope nobody from the county comes out and pinch me. Side by side, these two. Her call in that 17 car, a big Charger in weeks past.
Lap number 6 coming up.
An assertive runner. Aggressive, if you like. Look at Neff go. Trying to close things up on Bishop.
We better hurry up because George is going to pick up that white flag in just a moment here.
He's got her ready to fly now. He hitches up his draw.
Hey, this may be very interesting on this last lap if Neff can hang in there.
Well, let's see what Neff's strategy is. There's not a whole lot of slingshot room. It looks like Bishop realizes there is a thundering herd behind him, and he's doing everything in his power to pick up the pace. There goes Neff.
Oh, look at Neff on the
outside between turns 1 and 2, and boy, he made it look easy. I think maybe Bishop was expecting him to take it to the low and inside. He thought he could block him, but not so. With Bishop down there in the lower portion of that groove, Neff passes him up on the outside, uses up the remaining half of the groove, and look at this.
Neff winds up winning it.
Takes the lead in the last lap and takes the checkered flag in the process. What a way to put her together.
Steve Neff just laying back there, I think, Tom, until he seen that white flag come out and finally made his move. Slowly crept up the last 4 laps, just inched it up there toward Ron Bishop. Wound up winning this one. Ron Bishop falls back into second place. Larry Davis in 77 winds up in third. Bill Harless hanging in there with fourth place in 62. And Kirk Hall in number 17 winds up in fifth place. I believe we've had a gal win a race here yet this year at Raven Raceway. Maybe we're in for it right now.
Let's hope so. Be a great wedding present, wouldn't it?
Oh, yes, it would. Yeah, that's right. She's getting married in October.
October fast approaching now. The green flag is in starter George Camp's hand. What do you folks think? We're going to get a go here? You better believe it. The green flag's flying and they're off and running. And look at the jump. Izzo, Todd Izzo, good on Sheila Vanhorn coming off of that fourth turn up there. And he is doing nothing but padding to it right now with Sheila giving chase in second place. Butch McCluskey right on the heels of Sheila Vanhorn. Out of turn 4, Todd Izzo, confident young driver. Loves to win, don't they all? Right now he's in the best position to do it. Eric Simonson in that 97 car. Rounding out the top 4 right now. Bob Pennington running in 5th temporarily. And now he has lost that away and drops back off into 6th place with that little maneuver up inside turn 2. Back here out of turn 4, Todd Izzo continues to pour it on and opens it up over Butch McCluskey, who is now displaced Sheila and is running in 2nd place. Sheila is currently in 3rd with Eric Simonson and Bob Pennington. Next 2 behind her. That's Pennington in the number 15 machine, leading his own group of competitors out of turns 1 and 2 now. Got another pass back there in turn 3. Looks like Simonson taking Vanhorn on the outside and playing tag now with Butch McCluskey, who's running along in 2nd place. So those 2 battle it out for 2nd place, all alone in 1st, and running by himself already up into turn 3 is Todd Izzo in that blue number 2. McCluskey, who can be quite a hot rodder, is giving chase now, but he's working at almost a half lap back. So let's see if he can close it up here in our 4th NASCAR Charger heat race of the evening for you. Close quarters situation between those 2. Sheila on the inside and Simonson on the outside up in turn 1. They both walk away from it. No sweat. Izzo, blue 2, right there with that much of a lead on this man here, Butch McCluskey. Then Sheila, then Eric. Your top 4 right now. Bob Pennington, your points leader in this division so far here in Raven in the inaugural 87 season, is next in line. 5th.
McCluskey's going to really have to pour it on because there's not too many left in this. I believe we're down 5 laps right now. No, we're going into our 6th lap right now. So McCluskey's going to have to pour it on and he's going to catch up to Todd Izzo.
Yeah, it'll be a dash from here on in. The white flag is already primed and ready to be put to these guys by George Camp. He's all set to do that right about here. If they don't get too screwed up, and Todd Izzo does a magnificent job coming out of that little encounter.
Boy, he sure did.
To keep it out of the wall and to keep it in the lead. Butch McCluskey trying desperately to close it up in the white flag lap. Will he be able to get it done?
Uh-oh, look out here.
Will we be able to get everything squished through here? Oh, yes. So the checkered flag is out and about to fly for that guy, Todd Izzo. Good job in blue number 2. Butch McCluskey winds up in 2nd place. Sheila Vanhorn from the pole coming in 3rd place. Eric Simonson all alone there in 97 coming out of turn 4. And Bob Pennington, won't it be? Sure enough, in number 15, rounding out your top 5 guys and gals.
So Todd Izzo wins that heat race, and Todd almost losing it on the white flag lap as he got into a little bit of a mishap, but really handling that car. Hey, let's give him a good hand, folks. The car number 2, Todd Izzo.
Got an eye on him back there. They look pretty decent. The top 8 particularly. He probably doesn't mind Throckmorton lagging. Apparently not. The green flies, and here we go. Simonson River getting on it in there early on. River getting the best of it. Turn 4, opening lap. Rick Sykes in the Budweiser for Utah in hot pursuit. Scheffner going high and wide between turns 1 and 2, but keeping it out of trouble, although he drops off to the back of the pack in that number 11 car. It's 74 up front. Six-time winner Rick Sykes, a one-time winner. He did it on the 4th of July. And right behind him out of Eloy, Mike Hancock, yet to win, but he's been running like he's got some serious intention. And he better have, because right now he has got Hancock hot on his heels. Hancock ruled last week. Right now, this was Sykes is hanging tough, still in gun sight range, come out of 1 and 2. Those two moving all along right now down the back chute. Hancock still within striking distance. Likewise, Hancock.
Races going on right now for first and second and third and fourth right now between Hancock and Hancock.
Marion Smiley in 9th place. The points standings right now running along in 5th place in this one behind Hancock and Hancock. What a law firm that would make.
Something happened to Trimmer between 3 and 4 because Sykes come up and bumped him. Looked like he might have died out or something. But he's got it back under control now as the yellow flag comes out.
Sykes giving it a good gun and a good run with this yellow. Obviously, they'll get bunched up again. Looks like Scheffner up there, if my eyes don't completely fail me, in the number 11 car.
Billy Brandon in 55 also getting smacked as Scheffner did not see him as he came around turn number 3. And he just kissed him a little bit. Let's hope there's not a whole lot of damage on that car.
And let's see what happens in a restart here. Sipes moving up on the outside of Trimmer right now. Wonder if there's any communication going on between those two. Sneaky personality. I want to eavesdrop on all these guys. Bill Brandon, 55, heading to the pit field.
Well, smart move. He's probably going to go in there and check out any damage that he has so he can make it back out here for the main event where the point standings count on that event.
Sure, and before he went, he no doubt checked out as thoroughly as he could Norm Scheffner's situation up there in turn 3 and probably figured, hey, I've got at least a couple of laps. They probably got it down to where they know it will be 44 seconds before they're actually needed back out here. Who is that?
I don't know.
And so why not go and see if you can get a quick job done?
Carl Trimmer leads this one right now, but the gap is going to be closed up with Rick Sipes going to be bumping him, and Mike Hancock, Cocott, and Smiley going to be right up there too. They're glad to see the yellow out. Of course, Trimmer's not, but he's got the lead right now. But if Sipes has anything to do about it, let's see what kind of maneuver Sipes tries to play up against Trimmer once we get the track all cleared up.
Brandon still in the pit field. Scheffner under push now by Gary's towing. Trimmer, Sipes, Hancock, Cocott, Smiley. Good show. Awfully good show so far.
So far, so good. With that wet track out there, I expected a lot more mishaps. The night's not over yet, though, but they've been some good racing so far.
And so what? We couldn't get started on time. Boy, we have
Cranked
done
them out,
nothing
yeah.
but made up time.
Cranking them out.
This is incredible. 3 laps gone when the yellow was produced here. Green flag again, Jack. What do you think?
Carl Trimmer's got the lead.
Sipes and Hancock right behind him now.
Look at Cocott right now trying to make the moves on Hancock on the inside, but just couldn't quite get in there. And here he's going to try it again.
Marion Smiley in 5th place. There's your lead guy. Right there, Carl Trimmer, the Spirit automobile. The blue circle lifts the machine. Sipes sticking the Budweiser to his machine, playing catch-up. Can they get the job done?
Inside of Hancock, and here comes Smiley also on the inside of Hancock.
They found them a place to go, and they went. second by that much. Hancock getting a nice little bump across the start finish line. Ceremonious wrap up to this one, huh?
Sure is. Carl Trimmer wins this one in that car number 74. And Carl doing a good job of driving. Billy Brandon pulled out on the racetrack under the green flag, which is a no-no. If you notice, George Camp gave him the black flag. You're not supposed to pull out on a green flag, only a yellow flag. Let's give him a good hand, folks. The winner of this one, Carl Trimmer in number 74, followed by Rick Sipes, Jack Kokot, Marion Smiley, and Mike Hancock. Scott Hilger and Throckmorton bringing up the rear. As for the main event, and the winner of the Chargers will receive another an extra $250. All brought to you by Gatorade, Circle of Champions. Thanks to Gatorade from Raven Raceway. Well, George Camp puts up his finger one more time around. On the pole position tonight will be that car number 25. They call him Pierre. Larry Artman's going to be on the outside of Pierre. Kirk Hall on the inside of the second row. Bob Pennington on the outside of second row. Terry Bennett, car number 9, inside third row. Driving the car number 59 tonight, Ron Kearns. Inside fourth row, car number 91, Brian Clayton. On the outside of Brian, Jesse Brown in 72. Gordon Sam's right behind Clayton in that car number 23. And Mike Williams right next to Gordon Sam in 77R. David Fox bringing up the next row in that car number 0. Ray Wilson from Sierra Vista in 79. Don McMerrick in 06, right next to Don. Tony Izzo in 02. Dan Humphreys in car number 10 from Tucson. Tom Laney also from Tucson in 47 next to Dan. Marvin Clayton, or Catlin rather, in 5.95. I like that, Tom. And Terry Gibson in car number 52. Bringing up the field, Darrell Fisher in 3. Ron Winnick in 158. And Doug Shinek in number 63, bringing up the rear. So 15 laps in this NASCAR Charger semi-main event here at Raven Raceway. And a good field out there right now, 21 cars. So Pierre leads him on around. Also looks like Barry Foster in 222 might be out there. Yes, he is. He's bringing up the rear also next to Doug Shinek. So George Camp puts up the finger one more time, tells him one more time around. Want to get everybody involved in this one in the semi-main event for the NASCAR Chargers. So Pierre in car number 25 puts out his finger, signals to the rest of the fellows. You'll notice they put their hands out and tells the guys in the rear that we're going around one more time. Larry Artman on the outside, that car number 99. Larry winning his first race here a couple of weeks ago. Kirk Hall right behind Pierre, and Bob Pennington, our NASCAR Charger point leader right now here at Raven Raceway. He's going to be right behind Larry Artman. George Camp eyeballs him as they go down the back straightaway. Okay, here we go. Looks like George Camp may give him the green. Let's see what he does. They head into turn 3. Off the number 4 corner they come. George looks at him, gives him the green flag, and here we go into our semi-main event of the NASCAR Chargers. Pierre, the car number 25, jumps right out in front, but look at Bob Pennington in number 15, right on Pierre's tail. Kirk Hall in 17 right now, currently in 3rd place. Larry Artman in that car number 99 is holding on to 4th as Pierre leads him on around turn 3 and 4. Here they come down the front straightaway. Pennington in 15, right behind Pierre, but here comes Kirk Hall in that car number 17 making his charge right now. Larry Artman in 99 holding his own, looking real good out there. Car number 72, Jesse Brown in 5th place. Ron Kearns in that number 59 car falling back just a little bit. Pierre in 25, still your current leader right now, but Bob Pennington is right on Pierre's tail. Kirk Hall in 17's right on Pennington's rear right now. And we've got we've got 5 of them up between turn 3 and 4 right now, as the yellow flag's gonna fly high. We've got debris out on the racetrack, 5 of them all up against that wall there between turn number 3 and 4. So as the yellow flag comes out, just got a couple of them down our belt right now. And Pierre will lead them on around once more. And we've got car number 9 out there right now. And it looks like he may have lost his radiator. And he's smoking up over there just beyond turn number 4. So as we try to get the track all cleared up here, we've got Gary's Towing out there right now. Got some good race fans cheering on their, I think it's the number 10 car. There's a couple of girls real happy to see him out there tonight. So Pierre will be your leader when this green flag comes back out as Gary's Towing tries to get the track cleared up right now. Looks like Terri Bennett, number 9, having his problems over there at turn number 4. Terry was, well, he was smoking quite a bit. Looked like a radiator to me. Ron Kearns in that number 59 is the vehicle over there by the Ashton sign, and Ron's, well, may get the hook thrown on him yet. So we only have 1 lap down in this semi-main event. As we try to get the rest of the cars off of the field right now. Terri Bennett over there in car number 9 pops open his hood, checks it out, see how much damage he has really done. Doesn't look like he's going to be back into this one though, folks. As the fire crew checks it out, and I believe it was a radiator. We'll have to wait and see, get a report on that car number 9, Terri Bennett. Terri Bennett is sponsored by Brandon Tire Racing Team, Tucson Alternator Exchange, MP Engine and Machine, East Side Full Service. They call him the old blue boy. That's that car number 9 up against the turn number 4. Ron Kearns in 59. He's driving for Willie Russell tonight, and that's sponsored by Park Avenue Chevron Dealers, Auto Supply, Stark Fence, the Bottle Shop, Brown Tire, A&B Auto Wrecking, and Desert Cooling Systems, Performance Plus. And he's a rookie. Willie Russell is, but Ron Kearns driving that vehicle tonight. Well, we have a few minutes. Let's go over some of these fellow sponsors right now. Pierre in that car number 25, that's sponsored by Pioneer Construction, Vail Valley Lumber, Commerce Building Corporation. Bob Pennington from Tucson. Bob's married, got 4 children. He's sponsored by Gary's Towing, Discount Tire, Bud's Outback, and Howard's Hydraulic. Kirk Hall in that car number 17, sponsored by Max Marine, Pro Tire and Wheel, Hall's Mobile Home Repair. Kirk is from Tucson, car number 17. Larry Artman in that car number 99. Larry sponsored by Bar 22 at 950 South Wilmot. Larry's a 36-year-old fellow, married with 1 child. Jesse Brown in car number 72, sponsored by Banks Transmission, Engines, etc. in Eastside Radiator. Jesse Brown in 72. Brian Clayton in that car number 91. Brian sponsored by Certified Auto Electric, Quaker State, Alpha Plumbing, Greco Painting, Lewis Design Communications. Car number 91, Brian Clayton. Gordon Sams in car number 23, sponsored by Bennett and Doyle Construction Company, Brassfield Auto Parts, Gary's Towing, Tia Alina Restaurant, and House of Carpet, and Alan Signs. Gordon Sams, car number 23. David Fox, and David is a 27-year-old single fella. Got a couple of kids, though. Car number 0, sponsored by Ron's Art, and needs some more sponsors desperately. Roadrunner Roll-Off. So if you'd like to sponsor a race car, check out David Fox in that car number 0. Don McMerrick is driving car number 6 tonight. That's the Spudsmobile. He's sponsored by Golden Eagle Distributors, Brassfield Auto Parts, Sneak Joint Bar and Grill, Lancaster Pest Control. Don McMerrick. Tony Izzo in the car number 02, sponsored by Ace Automotive Transmissions, RTT Transmissions. Tony Izzo, car number 02. Tom Laney in the car number 47. He's sponsored by Banks Transmission, Frolic Quilts, etc. Vicky Window Coverings, and he's a rookie. His first race ever in a new car. Married, got a couple kids. In car number 47, Tom Laney. In car number 222, Barry Foster. Barry's from Tucson, sponsored by nobody, and he's not looking for a sponsor. Unusual. Car number 3 is Darryl Fisher, and Darryl's from Tucson, sponsored by Brassfield Auto Parts, Fisher Engineering, Auto Recyclers, H&R Construction, Auto Visuals, Performance Engine. Car number 3, Darryl Fisher. Doug Shinek in the car number 63. Doug's from Tucson. Owner is Doug and Don Rossard. Car number 77, Mike Wilkinson, and Mike's from Eloy, Arizona. Sponsored by Golden Six Motel, Bab and Sal Truck Detailing, Picacho Exxon at Picacho Peak, and iWest Diesel, or number 1 Diesel. Second race, Marion. He's got 3 kids, and he's also sponsored by Valley Auto, Wayne Kramer, Snap-on, and Hancock Rods CNC Auto. Car number 77R, Mike Wilkinson. And Dan Humphreys, car number 10, sponsored by Engines Etc. as George Camp gives him the green flag. And here we go again in our main and semi-main event here at Raven Raceway. Pierre, in the car number 25, that Dale Valley Lumber car, still your current leader as Bob Pennington and Kirk Hall. Comes down toward turn number 3, but in 4th place right now. Looks like Jesse Brown and Gordon Sams moving up right behind Jesse Brown. Pierre holding his own right now. Bob Pennington trying to catch up and move on the inside or outside, whatever Bob can do, as Kirk Hall stays on Pennington's tail right now in that car number 17. Gordon Sams right up there in 4th place right now, and Gordon trying to get on the inside of Kirk Hall, but can't quite do it. So Pierre still leads this one. Bob Pennington in 2nd place right now. Kirk Hall currently in 3rd place. Larry Artman in that car number 99 has fallen back as Gordon Sams moves it on up in the 4th place right now, and Jesse Brown is in 5th. Pierre in car number 25, still your leader, but Bob Pennington is hot in pursuit right now as Bob tries to move on the inside, and no, he cannot overtake him. Kirk Hall still hanging in there as 0-2, starts to smoke a little bit down the back straightaway. We've got one way up toward the wall right now as he brings it back down. And Pierre opens it up just a little bit as here comes car number 91. Moving on up, trying to get next to Gordon Sams right now and get on around him. That's Brian Clayton in 91, but Brian goes wide and scrapes the wall over there just beyond turn number 2. Pierre still hanging in there in 1st place. Bob Pennington in 2nd right now. Kirk Hall in 3rd place. Gordon Sams holding on to 4th place. And look out, Brian Clayton, as he gets a little shaky right there coming down the front straightaway. So Pierre still leads this one. And Pierre really just staying right in front of Pennington right now, Tom, and holding his own in this one as George Camp gives that halfway mark.
This one over half of the course has had a little bit of everything, hasn't it?
It sure has. We had 5 of them over there down at turn 3 and 4. A little mishap, but it's all straightened out now.
Izzo pouring smoke on occasion. It looks like that right rear tire may be about to go, if it hasn't already gone. Well, these guys are really putting on a show, Jack. I sneaked out for a few moments. Uh-oh, Gordon Sams, Jesse Brown getting into it. And then Sams goes out and kisses and another. And they all come out of it waltzing, so to speak, up there between turns 1 and 2.
Look out now as Pennington tried to make the moves. And oh, look at Brian Clayton moving all the way up toward the front right now. And now he's in second place.
These guys have just really been doing a supercharge. You know what we miss up here in the booth, Jack?
What's that?
I just sensed it out in the stands, and that is the smell.
Uh-oh, Pennington just took out Brian.
Oh, my goodness.
And
Oh.
Pennington gets taken out himself.
Oh, and a nice snaky job of driving by that yellow machine back there heading into turn 3 right now behind Gordon Sams. You got to be sitting inside that thanking his lucky stars. Oh, another little scraperoo there. Oh, my goodness. They're dropping like flies in this one, and Gordon Sams suddenly looks like his right rear is shot now, too. 77 getting awry up there in turn 4 and setting that one up for another kiss for Sams, who just in that last circuitous loop around the widest, windiest, wackiest, wettest, and most wonderful 3/8 in the West. My goodness. Linda Manus coming up to the tower, shaking her head like, what in the world is going on out here? Door is open for you, dear, and welcome back to the penthouse. Now be careful, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Mike Wilkinson in that 77X machine, sitting nose low in turn 4 right now. He got her sideways up there. Gordon Sams in number 23 saw it coming and tried to get around him, couldn't quite make it. Glanced off of him, almost got himself put in the wall for the effort. Sams, that is. But he was able to stave that off and prevent that from happening. But 77 is going to need some help. They'll be working on sheet metal across this week. Pierre in 25. Kurt Hall in 17. Gordon Sams pilots 23. Jesse Brown in that 72 car. He's the one who initially mixed it up with Sams up here going into turn 1. And before that lap was over, Sams went scooting through some screwed up traffic between turns 1 and 2, then found another mess up down here in turn 4 and managed to get involved in that one too. So he's got some new paint splotches on probably both sides of that machine. Gary's towing, working away on the Wilkinson machine. Mike in that 77R car over from Eloy tonight, sponsored by the Golden 6 Motel, among others. Sad to see their machine and their driver knocked out of it here. But that will be the case with Mr. Wilkinson. There's Jesse Brown's 72 car, and he's heading off, limping off to the pit field. Gets some quick attention. Gordon Sams, we noticed last lap, looked like he had a flat or at least a very low right rear. Put the glasses on him this time and see what we see. George Camp, of course, eyeballing him rather closely too. Pierre is in fine shape, likewise Kirk Hall. Sams has definitely got a flat lower right, and either doesn't know it or doesn't care. He is obviously not heading for the pit exit. And I vaguely recall seeing another one. It was either flat or low, but definitely the low rear right on Sams's car is a flat.
Gordon's got a flat on that 23, huh?
Concert in A flat.
Don't suppose he was the guy that wanted that flat fix, can of flat fix, do you?
Might have been. Although I have a feeling he probably poked a hole in one of them with that debris that was left up there in turn 3. What do we have in that one? 5 cars?
5 cars over there, all up against the wall, every one of them.
Yeah, there's Sam's flat, very clear.
Oh, the right rear, okay. That left rear's awful low.
So he will probably draw the black flag this next go-round. I would guess that's what George Camp is heading down the ladder for now with black flag in hand. I'm surprised Gordon doesn't feel that.
Well, the track's awful rough out there. It looks pretty smooth from up here, Tom, but yeah, I'm a little bit surprised too.
Imagine what a sickening feeling it is right now to be sitting in any one of those machines and to look over here and see Camp standing in the middle of the home stretch, right in the center of the start-finish line with the black flag in hand.
Wondering who.
You got to figure, hey, I got a 1 out of 15 chance, or however many were left, and I guess it's less than 15 right now. And there goes the message delivered, and Sams has picked up on it, and or has he?
I think the wrong fella got the message.
Her call
No,
decided
I guess not.
to slow her down low and inside. I thought George was going after Gordon.
Just was informed, Tom, that 17 has a fender rubbing on that car, and they didn't want it to blow once the race got underway, so that's what they're doing and checking him out.
Well, they're not going to let Gordon start again, are they?
I don't know. Yes, they are. I'll tell you.
You can start with a flat.
You can start with a flat if you're, I don't want to use the word, but if you want to start with the flat, you can start with the flat.
Well, how many laps are gone in this one?
Looks like about 4 laps are gone in this 15-lap
So
event.
11 laps to go. That's an awful long time to try to run on a flat. And we've had enough time under this yellow to get a change made.
That tire doesn't look like it's going to last a whole lot longer.
I don't understand that. What do we got? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 left in the field.
Out of 21.
So we have lost 10 machines, retained 11. One of them's pretty shaky.
We're down to 10 now.
10 left.
George was trying to tell him to go on around and get your position, and he went into the pits. It looks like 72 is going to be back out here.
Well, Wilkinson won't be. Mike Wilkinson of Eloy, his 77R machine there on the back of the Gary's towing car.
Uh-oh,
Now-
George is getting a little excited now.
Now George has gotten the message plumb through to Gordon Sam. Well, not quite all the way. He's hashing it out now.
17 coming back out, got the word.
Well, I'd love to have a radio in there right now, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. You got that phone tape or the da-da-da-da-da-da?
Yeah, I should have had that sucker ready to go. I asked him yesterday to give us a little bit of warning when he felt the urge coming on to whip himself out of the flagman starter stand and get down and do it in the dirt with these guys. I would like him to let me know.
Lead them by the hand, George. Grab them by their arm.
A completely thankless job that man has, ladies and gentlemen. So bear with him as he has a little fun, a little animation thrown in for it here on a Friday night. Hey, I'll pull a Mr. Rogers on these guys. This is my neighborhood. I'll run it the way I want to, says George Camp. And so he's down there working it out with Pierre now. Kirk Hall right behind him. Gordon Sams is probably down at that 4-day discount tire place.
Doing an Indy pit stop right now.
I can't believe this 3 machine, Jack. There's not a Seemingly not a nick on that sucker.
He's currently in 5th place. When Sam's out of there right now, he's in 4th place.
Jimmy Brassfield owns that car, so I suppose that tells you a little something about why it looks the way it looks.
You know who's looking mighty good on the racetrack, and I don't mean cosmetics tonight, but Larry Artman in 99. He's got that machine put together, it looks like, because he's been really charging tonight and handling real good. So maybe a wet track is good for him, or he's made some major adjustments. He's currently in 3rd place right now, unless Gordon gets back out here.
I suppose we can get a hold of the Republicans who were in charge of the Watergate deal and maybe get a little inconspicuous, hidden electronic eavesdropping device that we can plant on. We'll have Sandy Camp planted on George's collar, under the collar, so he doesn't see it. Wouldn't it be fun?
Tom, this is a family.
To tune in to some of these events?
Tom, this is a family race park. I don't think we could do that. Well, look at that tire change that they did. Boy, that was like an Indy tire change, or Daytona.
That was a quickie for
That
Gordon
was really
Sam's
good.
crew.
Hey, let's give Gordon Sam's crew a big hand, folks, for getting that tire change.
Absolutely. That guy's crew did a whale of a job back there. They're a good bunch of folks, too.
But the bad news is he'll have to tag the field because he did go into the pits on the yellow.
Hey, it sure as heck beats the alternative. Not racing at all. Some of them even like to do it, prefer to do it from the back of the pack. Pierre setting the pace now, getting the yellow flag and the finger from George Camp indicating one more, guys. And then maybe we can cut this one loose. 4 down, 11 remaining here in our semi-main event for NASCAR Chargers on a Friday night at Raven Raceway. And thank you all for coming out tonight.
What happened on Gordon Sam's car, George Camp, as you've seen, told him that he had that flat tire, and Gordon made the choice to go into the pits, and he had his car worked on, so that's why he has to tag the field. Now, on that car number 17, Kirk Hall was told about it, and nobody worked on his car, so they went ahead and gave him his position back. And here we go.
You're kidding. That's interesting. Green flag falls. Pierre off the top. Kirk Hall right behind him. And look at the move being put on the outside by Dan Umbrus in that number 10 machine. He's still surging on the high outside all the way through turn 2. And look at him move up on the rear of Kirk Hall's red 17 racer. Ethical manner. Whatever happened to being that way? Anyhow, Pierre, Kirk Hall, Oprah's, boy, did he get the surge here in the restart, Jack, and he is looking real good, running strong in 3rd place right now.
10 laps gone on this 15-lap event, Tom, as Pierre does look good out there. He's looking about the best I have seen him all year long, so he must have done something to that vehicle.
Came up in the restart like a flash. Darrell Fisher in that number 3 car. Looking pretty good so far, and a very good-looking car. Very few nicks and scratches along the shiny surface on that one. They're staying pretty bunched up here at the top. Pierre continues to lead at Kirk Hall. Dan Umbrus. Those are your top 3. Larry Hartman in 99 in 4th place. Terri Fisher is running 5th, and David Fox has that 0 machine up good enough for 6th place right now.
Lap number 13 coming our way, Tom, as
time is beginning to become of the essence in this one.
Look at Larry Hartman.
Hartman doing a magnificent job paddling along there in that 99 machine, and real close to Chris through turn 1. Chris takes the high road and loses some ground. In fact, he's lost a couple of positions in that swell move. Now the white flag indicating 1 lap to go is about to fly for Pierre and Kirk Hall. Running back to back Norris and Daryl Fisher. Your top 5 runners as we run out of time with the checkered flag about to fly as Pierre leads them still through turn 3. Kirk Hall will probably go low here and try to close him off, but he's not going to be able to get the job done. Pierre wins it, followed by Kirk Hall, Larry Artman, Dan Umphress, and Daryl Fisher, rounding out your top 5 here in your semi-main event for your NASCAR Chargers this evening. And a great show coming down on a Friday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, that car number 25, you see that Vail Valley car. This is his first win this year. Let's give him a big hand, folks. Car number 25, Pierre. And Kirk Hall on number 17, holding on to second place. Larry Artman doing another fine job of driving in 99, along with Dan Umphress in 10. Daryl Fisher and David Fox moving up from the back of the pack toward the front, winding up in 6th place. So I know Pierre's proud of that one. He's been looking for a win all year long, Tom, and he did a good job. Held the lead just about from the beginning, didn't he?
Absolutely, and looked strong in a situation where attrition wound up playing a big factor. Didn't look like that was going to be the case this evening at all. And what do? We get down to our semi-main event for the NASCAR Chargers, and running is not getting in your blood to get back into the race car.
Oh, that itch is always there, Tom, and it's probably the hardest thing to get away. This particular car coming out right now is Bobby Markham's sprint car. It is running without a wing, which a lot of people haven't seen in a long time. But believe me, when I drove the sprint cars with a non-wing, that's the biggest thrill that you might say a dirt track racer can look for. These are the ultimate right here with no wings. The days with wings make the cars a lot more stable. And without the wings, sure, maybe they don't have the corner speed, but they definitely get a lot more sideways, and they're a lot more exciting to watch. But due to insurance purposes, that's why wings are on sprint cars.
Can you picture yourself out there wheeling that right now?
Oh, you betcha. I've had a lot of good laps in a sprint car like this, and it's quite a thrill to run a sprint car without a wing, and it's also quite a thrill to run one with a wing. My preference is without a wing.
But did you have a few bad laps in a sprint car?
Yeah, quite a few bad laps.
A little red eye.
Only bad when you're on your lid.
Oh, he has such a way with words. Dave Maness used to fly pretty doggone well himself, now relegated to a position of watching him because he's got himself so darn busy as the owner-operator of Raven Raceway. Here you are enjoying a sprint car minus a wing on a Friday night.
Well, October 10th, Tom, we've got a sprint car show here. And that's going to be a lot of the fellows from Las Cruces, El Paso, Raven Raceway. It's going to be a special round-robin event. And with Manzanita Raceway Phoenix involved in that one. So
We're trying to put a 4-race series together right now, like Jack just explained. It'll be from El Paso, Cruces, Raven Raceway, and Manzanita Speedway. And if we do, it's going to have a guaranteed of probably about a $10,000 championship fund. So what we'll be able to generate is an awful lot of cars out of New Mexico and Albuquerque, California, and El Paso. So maybe October 10th, we can probably generate maybe around 40 sprint cars here for that show. So it'd be the first time there's ever been that kind of a field in Tucson. So we're looking forward to us 4 promoters getting together to bring a special series together 4 weeks in a row at these 4 towns and pay these guys good price and get a lot of out-of-town too. So look forward to October 10th.
October 10th. Break the lipstick case out right now and circle that. That'll be a whale of a night.
boy, can that car fly.
Woo! Markham kicking it up pretty good, considering especially how wet it is.
That is
Well, that's
awesome.
the best thing about sprint cars. When it is wet like this, they're the ones that'll get through the mud faster than any of the cars because they do build a cushion, and with the tremendous horsepower they're pumping out, they can throw the loose stuff off the top and flatten it down to what we call a berm. And that's, if you watch Bobby there up on 3 and 4 up the very top of the racetrack, they'll build a cushion up there maybe a foot from the wall, and you'll get sprint cars running right on the edge of the wall all night without the wing. But with the wing on them, it's a different ballgame. They really plant the cars in the center of the racetrack, and they get so much down pressure that they can literally steer them anywhere they want to go. But the days of the non-wing sprinters are almost gone just due to insurance. and that's happening all across the country. So maybe we'll have a CRA sprint car show here next year, which is a non-wing show, which would bring a whole bunch of the top-notch California people over here, and it would really be a nice show. So maybe we can do that 1 or 2 times.
Compared to how we thought he might have things, look at him laying down in turn 4. Sure, he does it now when they're not racing. No guts, no glory. Look at that. Prone position.
What is he doing?
In the center of turn 4. Now he says he's putting on a golfing demonstration here in front of the grandstands tomorrow night. Lord knows what he's up to laying down on the job, so to speak, down there this evening. But he's down there for a purpose. He's got the checkered flag in hand, or should have. And momentarily we'll get you semi-formally introduced to these folks. My goodness, Jack, we got us a new pace machine up front. This one doesn't have a top on it. Well, it does, but I take it that sucker's from Rawlings.
Yes.
Yeah, that must be one of those fancy new LeBaron convertibles. Wonder what those suckers are selling for.
Like to have one. Like to have 2. Think anything right now.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm driving my pickup truck right now.
The one that says Pave Core on the
Yeah,
side?
well, that's one of them. Next is my dump truck when that breaks down. Then you might see me on a steamroller or something. I don't know. Oh, I guess we're ready to go.
Oh, he's going to crank us off on our introductions, huh? He can't be out here. From the rear of the pack, Norm Shepner from Tucson town in car number 11. Good to have him out here after that fracas he got involved in a little bit earlier this evening. Norm Shepner, car 11.
Well, it looks like car number 55 from Tucson, sponsored by Marketing Concepts, Brandon Communication Systems, Brandon Brothers Texaco, Bob's Engine Service, Certified Electric, Jack's Towing. They call him Bronco Billy Brandon.
I didn't mention any sponsors for Shepner. Turns out he doesn't have any, and I just got a note passed me from him saying desperately looking. So if you're of the mind and got a business and sitting in the stands tonight, why not go for it? Next up, the number 17 machine, sponsored by Coors Light, A. Pierce Company, Arizona Spring, Townsend's Racing Works, McLaughlin Body and Paint, Pima Welding Supply, and Pennzoil, the number 17 Corvette of Tucsonan Ivan Russell.
And the car number 48 from Tucson, sponsored by Frontier Towing, Parts World, ACI, C&T Tire. Car number 48, Lou Malandrone.
Hold on a second, he says. Now, this is supposed to be a very slick production here, George. What do you mean? Hold on a second. Who's he going to pick on next? B-52.
Time out, he says.
Sponsored by Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburation, Copper State Towing, Simonson Generator, ABC Radiator, The Young Motorsports, Ron's Racing Products, and D&M Manufacturing. B-52, Tucsonan Jamie Throckmorton.
Piloting the car number 5 tonight from Globe, Arizona, sponsored by Cobra Tire, Bud Light, racing since 1976, and he's got a new car, hasn't raced it yet. Car number 5, Wes Meeks.
George next picks on machine number 15, sponsored by Dick Harrell Performance Center and the Welding Shop. Over from Las Cruces, New Mexico tonight, Scott Hilger.
And he walks over to car number 71 from Tucson, sponsored by George's Automatic Transmission, certified auto electric. Dick Pennell's all exhaust, cactus boot and shoe repair. Car number 71, Paul Banghart.
Late model 73, sponsored by Hancock Towing and Garage of Eloy, Valley Auto Parts of Eloy, the Eloy Pickers, and Snap-on Tools of here in Tucson. That's 73, number 73 Chevy of Eloy's Mike Hancock.
In the car number 98 from Tucson, sponsored by Arizona Machine and Tool Center Incorporated, Townsend's Racing Works, American Spectrum Corporation, car number 98, Robert Townsend.
The number 9 machine, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Sunset Ornamental Iron, Culp Road Lounge, the Bootery on Craycroft, and DNR Communications. Car number 9, Tucsonan Marion Smiley.
In the car number 7, J7 they call it, sponsored by Miracle Square Apartments in Tucson, Arizona Custom Engines, Parts Place in Casa Grande, from Phoenix, Arizona, Jack Ickes.
Last week's main event winner, next up in that number 94 machine, sponsored by Borderland Construction, Performance Engine and Machine, Quaker State, Pro Construction, Altieri Trailer Sales, and Certified Auto Electric. Tucsonan Jack Kokot.
George headed over to car number 23T from Tucson, sponsored by Sanavir Rock and Material, George's Automatic Transmission, Hoffman's Dairy Queen, 2 locations at Sarnoff and Broadway, and Golf Links and Pantano. From Tucson, Jack Moore.
Car number 74, the Blue Circle West machines, also sponsored by Performance Engine and Machine. Amarilla's folks who are in attendance tonight, and good to have you folks over here. Braswell Carburation, the Spirit of Vicky Lynn car, with Carl Trimmer at the wheel.
I was going to give him a hard time on how slow he's moving tonight, but he does have that bad back, so we'll give you a break tonight, George. In the car number 4U, the Budweiser 4U car, sponsored by Budweiser and Golden Eagle Distributors, Performance Engine and Machine, Certified Auto Electric, Brassfield Auto Parts, Braswell Carburetors, Pennzoil, Top Line Auto Repair, ANC Radiator. Car number 4U, Rick Sipes.
On the outside pole, the blue number 88, sponsored by Eastside Engines, the Young Motorsports, Valley Marble, and the Tucson Boxing Association. The number 88 of Tucsonan Dwayne Lang.
In the car number 14 from Tucson, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet, Townsend's Racing Works, Arizona Machine Tool Supply, Tucson on Tapes, Steen Engineering, Foothills Automotive. Car number 14 from Tucson, Terri Green. And our pace car tonight from Rawlings, Chrysler, and Plymouth. Our pace car right up front, that beautiful looking convertible.
The north end, when the lead 2 cars, in this case Green and Lang, are directly in front of you, even on this parade lap. Stand up. But wait until those cars are directly in front of you, and that should set off a chain reaction from north to south, what we call the Raven Wave. You folks up north end, stand now on those lead 2 cars. When you see 88 directly in front of you, stand up and let's see if we can get a wave going. That was lousy.
You're an honest fella, Tom Boyd.
That stunk to high heaven. Maybe we gave them too much intermission, and they got too loaded down with all the goodies. Let's give it one more go on this next pass. No matter what color it is, whether it's still under the yellow or the green, let's give these guys a Raven wave, ladies and gentlemen, and make some noise while you're doing it, because it's a great way to send them off into the field of battle, and Lord knows they'll put on just that much more of a show for you. So let's give them a loud cheer and a rousing Raven wave beginning at the north end of the grandstands. Pace car doesn't count here. Wait until 88 and 14 are directly on line with you, where you sit in the stands. Now, let's start the Raven wave up there north end of the grandstands and see what happens here. Oh, we got a nice one cooking here, Jack.
A lot better.
Yeah, that's coming along. Just wait until the lead two cars are on line with you. I think we're going to get green here, and we ought to get a rousing Raven wave to send them off. It's worked great past weeks. Let's see if we can't conjure up a dandy one here tonight, because you are sitting here right on the verge of 30 laps of model main event. Terri Green will dash it off of the pole. Dwayne Lang will be moving up from the outside pole with Sipes and Trimmer right behind them. Throckmorton and Moore, row 3. Townsend and Cocott in row 4. Then Hancock and Smiley. Green flag is all set, and they're not going to get it here. They have not impressed George Camp.
They just did not line up that time, Tom. It was real obvious he wasn't going to go green. For some reason, Lang was out in front that time on the back straightaway. And he's supposed to be next to Terri Green, right side by side, so they were all mixed up there. Maybe they got the picture this time. We'll see what happens if George gives him the old green flag. Yeah, they were a lot better this time. Their attention now. Boom. Well, here they come off of turn number 4, and we do get the green flag as Terri Green leads him down the street. Lang jumps right out in front with Trimmer on his tail, Tom.
Yellow brought out here before the first half of a completed lap to kick it off in our main event. Wes Meeks with a bit of a problem down here low in turn 1, so that'll regroup.
And we did not get one complete lap, so it will be a complete restart, as George Camp has that yellow and red flag in his hand, and that is our restart flag.
56 car field coming for you tonight in a Charger and late model show. At least 56. We probably added a few more. And these same two categories of racers right back out here tomorrow night. Since it's a restart, let's give them a wave and wave, ladies and gentlemen, when 88 and 14 are lined up directly in front of you. Oh, we got yellow once again, and it looks like some unhappiness up in the flagman starter cage. Well, he's going to try to sort it out from up there. Waving them the yellow and giving them the finger, indicating one more time around. So
he's trying to get them all lined up like they were, because it is a complete restart. They're all mixed up right now, so he's going to try to get our track stewards that are out on the racetrack to shuffle them around just a little bit to get this one underway.
Well, assuming they can get it done in this lap, and let's do that. Let's get ready to give these guys the Raven wave like they've never seen it. We're not a real thick crowd tonight, a nice bunch nonetheless, but we're not real clustered together, so let's give them a big wave and a loud cheer, kick them off, see if they can't give us 30 clean, lean, green laps of main event. They've got the green flag. Let's give them the wave, ladies and gentlemen, and see them off to the races. As it were, on Friday night. We'll wave in that one all.
That's his second spin out in this main event, Tom.
That'll be like the baseball manager who gets that premature shower. Adios.
And he ignores George Camp as usual.
Well, this won't last long. George will try signaling him on this time around to let him know he is no longer a part of it. Black flag to number 5. Another restart. Let's see if Wes gets the message here. Over from Las Cruces tonight. He's pretty well out by himself in the back of the pack, so I don't think George will have any problem.
And he ignores it once again.
George, you may have to head for the ladder here. I have a feeling.
I love it. I love it.
I was a little concerned for his safety and well-being
I
there
was
for a
too.
while. I mean, the yellow's going crazy up here, and I heard nothing but thunder developing up there into turn 4. But they finally got Wes's attention, and he is out of here.
And he's from Globe, Arizona, and perhaps up in Globe, they don't have that rule we have here at Raven. 2 spin outs in a main event, and you're out of it. So he spun out twice, and that's the rule. So Wes is black flag as George Camp looks at him as they come out of turn number 4. Dwayne Lang leads him out around, and then
There's a bunch of closeness up there in turn 1, Jack. They all hit them like the pros they are, come out of it completely unscathed. And Lang keeps that blue 88 up front. But he's going to have some number problems we don't have in Carl Pepper and Rick Sims, both of whom have been to victory lane.
look at Jack Cocott at 94 jumping right up there.
Symes got caught in a vice in the squeeze up there in turn 2 and had to back off of it. Was running second along the way to Lang and Jack Cocott, along with that main event out here last week, has bumped his way up to an early on 3rd place. Rick Symes, this boat's for you, car, running along in 4th place, heading into turn 3. Here they come out of 4, leader Dwayne Lang, then Cocott, then Symes, then Terri Reed, and then number 14 O'Reilly Chevy Machine. Round
unfortunately for Carl Trimmer, because Carl was starting to run into traffic with about 5 of them up in front of him right now. That looks like Norm Shepherd, you're right. And car number 11. So the rest of the field's going to be happy about that, as it's going to close them up as we go into yellow. Between turn number 3 and 4 right now. And Shep there having a little bit of a problem. He's looking for a sponsor, folks. Might want to help this fella out, Norm Shepner. So Carl Trimmer leads this one in that car number 74 with the folks from Danny's Racing Apparel here from Amarillo, Texas, rooting him on. Looking for a win tonight. But this will close up the gap with Dwayne Lang in number 88 going to be in hot pursuit. And Rick Sipes looking mighty fine out there, also in hot pursuit of Lang and Trimmer. Colcott hanging in there in that car number 94 in 4th place. Marion Smiley moving toward the front, slowly but surely.
Colcott doing a drift right and into the pit field now while we're under the yellow. So that'll be interesting to see how quickly he can turn that around. If we get any indication as to what has sent him there, we will of course pass that along to you. Colcott running along in 4th place and just giving the signal, as you probably saw, to get himself into the pit field. Townsend just got the message. If you saw George Camp pointing to his bottom up in the flagman starter stand, that's simply an indication to Townsend to get to the rear of the field, and that's where he goes. So Dwayne Lang, who led this in the early on, is now looking up from 2nd place, looking up to Carl Trimmer, who, as we have seen so many weeks in the past, he can just lay in the bushes no matter what position he's running in, or so it seems. He just hangs there, and when opportunity comes knocking, he's right there to open the door. So right now, with the yellow getting them regrouped, it'll still obviously be Trimmer in the lead. Right behind him will be coming Dwayne Lang in number 88, then Rick Sipes in the 4U car, looking for his 2nd main event win out here to go with his first one, which came on the Saturday night, July 4th. What a bang-up time, so to speak, we had out here that night. Long, glorious 4th of July night at Raven Raceway. A great fireworks display put on, with only promises of bigger and better ones to come in the years ahead. Colcott is still missing from the fray here, having gone to the pit field, as we announced a couple of laps ago. He is in there seeking quick attention. Will it be quick enough? Not to get back in this one right now, because we've got the green Rivers flag. We're going to get Rick Sipes. We'll try to close it up. Before we went to the yellow, Jack Colcott was running along in 4th place with Marion Smiley, giving him some red hot battle in that number 9 machine.
Looks like he just died out into the infield.
Only saves us the yellow. Maybe keep it out of potential problem area. That's good news for this guy in the Blue Circle West machine. Carl Trimmer was spinning in the crowd. Right now, lead by for Dwayne Lang in 88, but Weiser car for you, giving it all it's got right now. It's just not enough to close up on those lead 2. So we'll see, but it's not at least just yet. Marion Smiley now running a real strong 4th Jack, and looking like he's just waiting for a little opportunity himself to leave Rick Sipes sitting in the dirt if he can get him down.
Well, it's lap number 19 right now, heading into 20, so they're going to have to do something pretty quick. These guys are going to actually just try to stretch a little bit of that gap as he heads out of turn number 2. outside.
Jack Moore giving it a dirty go right now on that 23 machine. Campbell in about fifth spot right now, but he's got a bit of a gap between himself and Brooks, which is currently being held down by the back of the line. There was a puff of smoke out of Sipes' machine, followed by another puff.
That doesn't look too good.
It does certainly look counterproductive, doesn't it?
But he's still moving and grooving.
Here comes Trevor out of turn 4 in the top 10 in the cover. You see a hit of wire right here. Sipes continues to have the oil burn problem. Could be burning rags in there from that much smoke being emitted here. We'll keep a close eye here on him, as I'm sure we'll you. Here's Trevor at 74. Sipes trying to take line on the outside, can't get it done. Now he crisscrosses and tries it on the inside. Tries to go low inside turn 2. Couldn't get her done there. Now they're coming up on traffic. But good.
Look out, Trimmer.
And some wobbly traffic in that.
And Sipes is going to take the lead right now.
The squeeze the way that turned out to be.
Oh my goodness, would you believe that?
Now, can they hold that machine together with all that smoke blowing out of there? Oh my God! Carl Trimmer got a wild ride out of that. His whole right rear end brought up off the track. Sipes smoking the place up even first out. And that looks real bad. That's not just smoke out the tail end. That's smoke coming out from the big compartment. And I don't mean glove compartment.
Looks like it might have just died, Tom.
Has run out of punch, and Trevor flashes by on a turn 4. What a sick feeling for the man behind the Budweiser wheel right now. A lot of you Rick Sipes fans in the stands pounding your feet and fists right now going, what in Hades' name is going on? Carl Trevor, the spirit of Mickey Lynn, with a wider gap now than he's enjoyed so far here in a main event that is rapidly petering out. White flag is in George Camp's hand, and Trimmer is in turn 4, eyeing that white, 1 lap to go, and that much lead right there on his nearest competitor, Dwayne Lang in the 88 blue machine, being followed right now by Fome and Smiley. Hancock after that. The checkered flag falls for Carl Trimmer. Main event number 7. Dwayne Lang takes second. Marion Smiley, 3rd place. Jack Moore runs 4th. And Eloy's Mike Hancock rounds out your top 5 with Terry Green in the O'Reilly Chevy number 14 taking position number 6.
That was,
Wow.
ooh, that was exciting racing. It looked like, Carl ran into traffic, couldn't get around that car number 98, that Townsend car, and bumped him a little bit, and Sipes took advantage, went on the outside, took the lead, had the lead. Had he held on to it without that engine problem, he may have won this one. We'll never know on that. But Carl Trimmer in that car number 74 wins it. Let's give him a good hand, folks. Car number 74, Carl Trimmer. And as Tom said, Dwayne Lang winds up in 2nd place. Laughing Boy Marion Smiley took 3rd. Jack Moore in that car number 23T winds up in 4th. Mike Hancock 5th. Terry Green in 6th place, all unofficial.
Some strange quirks or little ironies in that. Number 88, Dwayne Lang started 2nd and finished 2nd and led for a goodly portion in the early on of this one. He was staving off Carl Trimmer in the early going.
99, sponsored by Bar 22 at 950 South Wilmot. A married fellow with 1 child, Larry Artman.
The number 10 car, sponsored by Engines Etc. of Tucson and Dan Umfras.
Car number 25, sponsored by Pioneer Construction, the Vale Valley Lumber Car, Commerce Building Corporation, the winner of the semi-main event, his first race, car number 25, they call him Pierre.
Car number 17, sponsored by Max Marine, Pro Tire and Wheel, Hall's Mobile Home Repair. It's Tucson Kirk Hall.
Car number 62, sponsored by DeGraw Auto Parts, Corral Tire Company, Friendly Auto Sales, Big Old Tires. Car number 62, they call him Sweet William Bill Harless.
Next, the car number 97, sponsored by Simonson Generator Service. He's not looking for any more sponsors right now. Tucson Eric Simonson.
A member of the FART Racing Team from Tucson, sponsored by Friendly Auto, Speed Auto Seat Covers, Diaz Garage, Guaranteed Detail. They call him Gentleman John Thomas.
Next up, the Dual Deuces, sponsored by Rowley's, Bigo, Paul's Automotive, Quaker State, CP Electric, MP Engine and Machine, Altieri Trailer Sales, Tucson Sheila Vanhor. Whoops. My Air, first, number 7, sponsored by Certified Auto Electric, Performance Engine and Machine, George's Automatic Transmission, ABC Radiators, C&L Thunder, Check's Pinstriping and Lettering, Dan's Paint and Body, Dave's Performance, Speedway Auto Parts, Quaker State, Motorsports Supply, and Eastside Engine, Tucson Colin Germain.
I don't know who we offended more, Sheila or Colin. In the car number 77, sponsored by Friendly Auto Sales, Drake & Sons, R&M Auto Sales, the car Harvey Wallbanger drove a couple of weeks ago, car number 77, Lucky Larry Davis.
Now back in sequence, the number 22 of Tucson and Sheila Vanhor.
Wave the flag, Bob. Sheila Vanhor. Good job, Bob. And the car number 1, sponsored by Pennzoil, TJ's Floor Covering Supplies, Bishop Floor Covering, Fisher Engineering, Auto Recyclers, Vanhorn Carpet Service, Bruno's Furniture Refinishing, and powered by Budweiser. Car number 1, John Vanhorn.
Next, the number 69, sponsored by Old World Automotive, Western Lumber Supply, All Coast Forest Products, Snavely Forest Products, Malco Lumber, and Day and Night Plumbing. It's Tucson and David Henken.
On the inside of the 4th row from Tucson, sponsored by Tough Off-Road, McCleskey Electric, Max Tire and Lube, Automobile Recyclers, the car number 36, Butch McCleskey.
Outside the 4th row, number 71, sponsored by Jim Hayes Welding, Miners Auto Parts, Chris's Machine Shop, and Banks Transmission Specialists. The number 71 machine of Tucson and Ed Fine.
And a fine guy he is. On the inside of the 3rd row, sponsored by Banks Transmission, El Campo Tire at 22nd and Country Club, a married fella, car number 49, I call him the sleeper, John Banks.
Outside row 3, the 98 machine, sponsored by Joe's Auto and Machine, Bishop's Floor Covering, Fisher Engineering, Lebo's Radiator Service, and Evenson and Sons Welding, the 98 machine of Tucson and Ron Bishop.
Inside of the 2nd row, sponsored by Southwest Stucco, Perfection Autocraft, and looking for more sponsors from Tucson, car number 4, Steve Neff.
Outside that 2nd row, the number 30 machine, sponsored by Brandon Brothers Texaco, Performance Engine and Machine, Drake & Son Auto Communications Systems, Tucson and John Watson.
Where is he going next? On the outside, pole position tonight for this main event in the NASCAR Charger is sponsored by Elmo's Saloon on Country Club, Altieri Trailer Sales, Classic GM Specialist, a 33-year-old fellow married with a couple of kids. Car number 45, Bob Langston.
And on your pole, the number 2 machine, sponsored by RTT Transmission, Lew's Mobile, Big O Tires, Berman Construction, Star Automotive and Machine, Leon's Automotive, Wagon Mobile Brake, Fresh Farms, and Stetson's new country and western nightclub. They call him Running Water, Todd Izzo.
And Izzo gonna win the main tonight. Or is he? It's anybody's race. Izzo on the pole position, Langston on the outside pole, Steve Neff on the inside of the second row. John Watson in that number 30 machine right behind Langston. We've got